City leaders met with Maplewoods Estates residents tonight to hear their concerns over neighbor Jeffrey King. King faces a murder charge in the shooting death of his neighbor, Chris Wells.
Neighbors had complained about King's behavior for weeks before last week's deadly encounter. Fox 4's Lexi French live outside the Green Hills Mid-Continent Public Library branch in the Northland. Lexi, what was the goal of tonight's meeting?
John, part of the goal is to make sure that a tragedy like this doesn't happen again. City council members, KCPD Police Chief Stacey Graves, and Clay County Prosecutor Zach Thompson were all at the meeting tonight and got to hear from neighbors and some of their concerns that they said they had with Jeffrey King for weeks before this shooting happened. Kansas City Councilman Wes Rogers says neighbors had voiced concerns about 42-year-old Jeffrey King and brought complaints to the city months before the shooting.
So we've got a situation where he had cars parked all over the neighborhood and was an absolute menace by the way he was parking his vehicles. He was shining a light into the neighbor's house. He was harassing people on the street. I mean, he was causing all sorts of problems, and we need to look at this still and figure out what we can do to prevent another terrible tragedy from happening.
Last week, Mayor Quentin Lucas asked the city manager and the chief of police to investigate how the concerns raised by Chris Wells, the victim, were routed and why issues went unresolved. Tuesday night's meeting was a chance for city leaders to hear from Maplewoods Estates neighbors.
We need to look at what we can do going forward, and I've told the neighbors, some of whom are very upset, that we're not going to run from it. We're going to take an honest look at what the city did, and we're going to learn from it.
Just 1 week ago, hundreds of people gathered in the Maplewoods Estates neighborhood for a candlelight vigil in honor of Chris Wells.
It was telling how good of a neighborhood this was and how good of a man he was, based on the people that were there to celebrate his life.
Those neighbors didn't want to go on camera tonight, but we know that they had a lot to say to city leaders. That room here at the library was full of people, and it went on for more than an hour and a half tonight. John.
Lexi French in the Northland tonight. Lexi, thanks.